Welcome to your community update. I'm Angela Stepp. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching us here on WSOT TV, we thank you for supporting us for 40 years of family programming that you can trust. If you're catching us on YouTube, WSOT-TV, we ask that you would please take a moment to like and subscribe. That doesn't cost you anything, but it will help our ministry efforts out a great deal, and we thank you for doing that. Well, today I have a very special guest joining me here in studio. We're going to be talking about New Life Ministries. They are a Huntington, Indiana-based ministry, a faith-based nonprofit organization serving those in need of food and shelter and basically a purpose-filled life. And don't we all need that, right? So I have with me the senior pastor of New Life Fellowship Church, which oversees New Life Ministries. His name is Jimmy Staten. And wow, Pastor, you've got a meal ministry, soup kitchen. You have a women's shelter, a men's shelter, a children's shelter. Your church really puts an emphasis on reaching people who find themselves at, for lack of better words, a crossroad in their life.
Right. Well, that's what God has called us to, and that's what we do. So, yeah, it is an extension. New Life Ministries is definitely an arm of ministry to the church.
So you have been in existence, the New Life Ministries, the nonprofit organization, since 2007.
Right.
And your organization started out in the downtown Huntington, Indiana area. Mm-hmm. And it started as a soup kitchen out of the basement of your church.
Yes.
Would you share with us a little bit about the beginning of that meal ministry,
Yes.
which is no longer there?
Right. It's no longer there. That building is being rehabbed. We rented that building at a time, but then we had moved 5 or 6 years later, and then it just was vacant all those years. But yeah, during the time that we rented that building, that's where we started the soup kitchen. It was definitely in the basement. You had to walk down this very dark corridor steps, and there was like this little one light on there, and just people kind of came in, and it was just very dark and dreary. And so there came a moment when we just like, I don't think we should be having it here. So the first night that we actually opened, the church made this big spread of food. I mean, it's just for so many people, and we had one person. Mm-hmm. We had one person that came in, and that person who came in, we had talked to them a little bit, and they actually were sleeping in their car and just kind of come up on us. And so that night we fed that person, and then somebody said, what are we going to do with this food tomorrow? What are we going to do tomorrow? I said, well, you're going to eat tomorrow, I'm going to eat tomorrow, so we need to open it and just keep this thing opened up. So that's kind of how we started. We're just going to open up 7 days a week, 7 nights a week. And so we did that, and the numbers kind of slowly increased. I think the city wasn't sure how to take that, do we really need a soup kitchen here? And they said, we got to get amongst the people. So what we did was we finally just found a rental place. We took a big step of faith and rented this small building downtown right across from the courthouse. I think it was like $350 a month. And that was a lot for us back then. And so we moved it there, and then the numbers just kind of blew up.
The need was there,
yes.
and New Life Ministries was able to step in and meet that need that was going unnoticed.
Yeah, it was definitely a need there that was helping more people than just those who were homeless. It was helping people that were struggling financially. We've had a lot of different people come down there over the years.
So in 2023, so last year, you served 17,974 meals.
Right.
That's
right.
That's outstanding, and that's just last year. And since 2007, you have served 224,000 meals.
Right.
That's a real need.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I think that the numbers actually are rising right now. We saw that through COVID, and we had that kind of maybe had a moment there, a little bit of time where it wasn't as high, but it's just ramped right back up.
Talk to me a little bit about your needs, the ministry needs. I'm assuming that this is a volunteer-driven effort.
Right.
So do you need volunteers? Do you have a team of people that regularly oversee the preparation of meals, or do you need help with food supply, or how can people get involved?
Yeah, so we need different types of things. So one of the things is we do need volunteers. We just found out we needed 2 teams since we added the lunch thing now. So this year we added lunch. So we've been doing lunch, but we also do these carryouts. They cause a lot more. So I think sometimes it gets overwhelming for some of our volunteers. So sometimes when people volunteer for a year or two, 6 months, they go, oh, I need a break. And so now we have a couple of days that are kind of open, a couple of nights, a couple of days during the month. So basically, yeah, there's a phone number that we can use. It's 260-200-1372. That'll get you on the list, and then they show you a process on how to become a volunteer. Where you can, if you're not very good with public and people, you can be in the back room doing dishes and trays, or you can be in the front if you love people. You could be out there doing drinks, or you could, if you like to cook, there's cooking. There's all kinds of areas to serve. It really is.
So let's talk for just a second. You had mentioned that you're serving lunch now. So for folks that may like to know a little bit more, what are the meal times and days of the week that you serve?
Yeah, so Monday through Friday, we do a lunch from noon to 1 p.m. And then Monday through Friday in the evenings, we go from 6 to 7 p.m. And on Saturday and Sunday, we're open from 5 to 6.
And
So
is that year round?
year round?
Year
There's
round?
no cost for any of these meals.
Every day of the year?
Every day.
Holidays included?
Holidays included. And if you want to eat inside, you can dine and eat inside for people that want to. They can, and others, they come and get a carry out, and then they go home or wherever they're going.
That is the carry out. That is something that stands out. That's not something that you typically hear of as an option for folks who are coming down to grab a bite to eat, to be able to get carry out to go. Who do you serve in your community? Do you have who is welcome to come to that?
It's open to
ministry?
anyone. It's open to anyone. So some, of course, homeless go there and they eat, but also people who are on fixed income. They've also said that they really like the opportunity to come down here, especially when their money gets tight. And then there's people that have families that come in, and sometimes parents have sent their kids down for dinner.
Yeah.
So that's always tough, but yeah, so we see families that come in. We've actually seen construction workers come in. They said they were tired of eating at fast food. And so it's just getting expensive, so it's a way to save some money and help them in their home front as well.
I've had the privilege of visiting the New Life Ministries and all the different locations that we're going to be talking about. And we'll be talking about the women's shelter here next. But I will say that the Soup Kitchen Meal Ministry, located in the heart of downtown Huntington,
Right.
Just in between businesses. It's very unassuming. It is a beautifully presented facility. You walk in, you are greeted warmly with a smile. You have a lovely seating area for people to go, just like any other restaurant.
Yeah, it's like a restaurant.
And your kitchen facility is very clean and well stocked and kept orderly, and it's an upstanding example of a meal ministry.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I'm aware of is that is you're using equipment and things break, things need replacing.
Right.
You've been doing this now since 2007. I would imagine that there's going to be needs that the ministry has. If folks are interested in coming alongside of New Life Ministries and partnering with you, or maybe just supporting in some way, how would they reach New Life Ministries? Is it the phone number that you shared earlier?
Phone
Would they
number's
talk
the
to
best
you
number.
directly?
Yeah, phone number is the best number.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best way. I would say, just one of the things that I think that make this meal ministry, Soup Kitchen, very unique is that on the evening meals, when we have those evening meals, is that you don't take a tray and get in line. People serve you like a restaurant. So they come and take the food to you, and they bring the drinks to you. They refill your cups, and so Yeah, there's some dignity in that.
Yes, there very much is. You are welcomed and received. That was one of the things that stood out to me was the warm welcome that the hosts give to every single person that walks into those doors,
Right.
and that they are treated very special as the treasures that they are, and that they are seated. And it is very much a restaurant dining establishment.
Right. It is. It is. It is. And so in that area, I think with that ministry there, it's always, you're always feeding people. Food is the number one thing that we need there. Food. We always need canned foods all the time. You know, vegetables and fruits are number one. And then, of course, meats.
Vegetables, fruits, and meats.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, of course, you know, we have like $1,000 electric bill every month. And we got 6 or 7 freezers and commercial refrigerators and trying to keep everything like that. And so it takes a lot. It takes some
does.
funds to keep those up. And we got a high water bill all the time. Always washing dishes.
You're always doing dishes.
Always doing laundry.
That's right. Yeah. So if folks want to get involved, that's an area of need that they could maybe come in and
Right.
help you with
Yeah.
then. That's good to know. Let's talk about the Women's Life House. Now, this is a housing program for women. And last year, you housed 33 women. You have 2 properties located on the same block as New Life Fellowship Church in downtown Huntington. And those 2 properties, between the 2 of them, you have 15 beds.
Yeah, we have 20 beds.
20 beds, okay. So talk to us a little bit about the Women's Shelter Program. What led you to start that program? Was it domestic violence? Was it to meet the need for homelessness? What is the root for that?
Well, I think it was back in 2006. God gave us a vision to feed people, to house women, house men, and house children. And so was part of the vision. And it just took us, I think it was 2013. It took us a little long to get there, but we got there. So we opened up that in 2013. So it's all part of that whole vision that we got from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. So you've just stayed consistent and true. And within the Women's Life House, I understand that you are helping women who are recovering from domestic violence, they're the victims of, and as well as, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying with homelessness and drug addiction, all those things, we kind of fill that gap of all those spots. And so different women come in for different reasons, but it's still the same main reason. They need help.
They need help.
They need a place to stay. They need a restart.
And so for a lady who might find herself there at the Women's Life House, is there a minimum or a maximum length of stay? And do you have any kind of programs or resources available to assist them to get that help that they need?
Yeah, so we take in each person. Everybody has to fit the criteria. One of our things is you have to be able to work. So we want people to get back on their feet financially. They have to save 50% of their money. So we have classes in the evening. They can only work day shift hours. So if you think about getting up in the morning, you got day shift hour work, you turn around, you do that all day, and then you come back, you got an hour, a couple of hours, and then you got evening, you got dinner time, you got supper time. Then you got some chores you got to do, just a little bit of cleaning, doing those things. And 7:30 you got a class, whether it's goal setting class or whether it's addictions group or whatever it may be, say people class, all those things to help you get stronger. Those are at 7:30. So they are pretty busy. They're pretty busy.
So it's a very structured program, but it's there to help introduce folks who have found themselves in a rather unstructured place in life,
Right.
gain those skills and that experience and knowledge on how to have the discipline necessary to get back up on their feet.
Right.
And you're giving them those life skills necessary to be successful.
Right. And I say too, the length of stay is, sometimes people come in for just a few days. They kind of take the shelter piece. I remember we got a ticket for somebody to get on a bus to go to another state, but they needed a place for 3 days. We gave them for 3 days. They still went along with the program, and then they were gone. And then some people have stayed, some women have stayed almost 18 months. So usually we say a year, but 18 months, sometimes people need longer. Pain sometimes takes a little longer to heal.
It does. And we have some images that we're putting up on screen, and there's one of a young lady who is at a graduation, if you will, a graduation ceremony that you are there presenting her that certificate of completion of the program. And can you tell us a little bit about that? What kind of a milestone that is to be able to say, I've completed the program?
Yeah, every person that graduates from the program, it's an 8-month program, but like I said, some can stay longer for whatever reason. But they always want to get to the 8-month program because then when they graduate, they've done very well, and they feel like they've accomplished something, and maybe haven't accomplished something for a long time, or never really have accomplished something. So, and accomplishing these, it's different for each person. I mean, an additive to a person was we helped somebody get their driver's license. So the director actually allowed them to drive around and got their driver's license. And other people, it's something different. It's doing all the classes and coming to a place where they're getting their kids back, and because they've done everything. And so that's a great piece right there.
That's a powerful ministry that you are helping somebody. You just said that somebody got their children back.
Yeah.
That they were in a situation that they no longer, the state had taken their custody of their children, and through the program at the Women's Life House through New Life Ministries, this person was able to turn their life around and turn the life of their children around as well.
Yeah, a lot of the women struggle because they've lost custody, or they've given temporary custody to someone so they can get themselves together. And something new, it's not something new, it's just we've kind of, 2 years ago, we were doing women and children. And so we took a break from that, trying to refocus on some things we wanted to do. But actually, as of this week, we're taking women and children back.
That's new this week,
Yeah,
so we're kind of breaking news
back
here.
Yeah, yes. So we'll be able to house women that have children. They fit our criteria.
Wow, so that involves some daycare element, I imagine?
Yeah, so the daycare has to be outside of our realm. But getting children back in there is a great thing.
That is a great thing.
So,
Let's talk again. I'm going to jump for just a second. You've got a children's life house, so we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But so we were just talking about the women's life house, but you then introduced a men's life house. Right. And in 2023, you housed 19 men. So clearly there's a need there. And in the men's life house, you have the same structure program that the men are going through as well. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the testimonies that you're seeing of folks that are coming in and just in a difficult place in life, trying to find that sense of purpose and going through the program and discovering that purpose?
Yeah, I think with the guys are a little bit different than the men. The program is similar. It's very similar. It's just same piece. But, I mean, it's just like when I was driving here today, I get text message and a call from a guy that had previously graduated asking some advice about moving. So, and then our director does the same thing. So a lot of women will get a hold of her. Once in a while, some of the guys will as well, because she directs all the adult houses. So basically, even though we might have 7 in one house, 7 in another, 4 or 5 in one other house, we're still working with all those who have already graduated that still want to. So there's still steps being done afterwards. But I think for the guys, I think the guys' house, it is what really stunned me about the men's house was how young some of these guys were coming.
What are we thinking when you say young? Are we saying 16, 17, 18?
So we can only take in 18-year-olds. So 18, we're taking adults. These are adult homes.
Okay.
So some of the hardest parts was that we got high school students. And so high school students that were 18 years old and being a senior in school. And I think that year we had 3 come in. We had three of them come in. One stayed one night or 2 nights, but we had one that stayed a whole year. And the other one said, I just can't do that. So we know we are working and we continue to have young men check. The same thing with women. We've had women at 18, right on their birthday, come in.
Wow.
So I've
That's,
seen too many young people come in,
yes.
and sometimes we get men that, like our men, like a gentleman that came in and he had like 6 to 8 years in prison coming out.
Hmm.
And, you know, put that with an 18-year-old that's never been around that. So we have to really watch that stuff. And we've been really good with it. And we don't, you know, we really watch bullying and things of that sort and been really good so far and didn't have much of that. So the men's house is right next door to the church. So all the eyes are on that house. It seems
Yes,
like,
I see
yeah.
for folks who aren't familiar, the church is located on the corner. There's a parking lot on the back side of the church, and then the property line of the Men's Life House is right there along the church parking lot. So,
Right.
like you said, all eyes are right there and very safe.
Yeah.
And each house, I understand you have a live-in director.
Yeah, so each house has what we call a house manager. So they really are the eyes and ears of that. We have staff also during the day, but these individuals, they live there. And so they just make sure everybody's up in the mornings and they make sure the house is safe at night. And so during the day, they don't have to be there, but they just make sure the doors are locked at night and everybody's head counts right and we're good to go.
Good to go.
We're big on safety. So.
That's important. And let's talk real quick. We've just got a few more minutes. We have to get into the Children's Life House. That is you were just starting to allude to the need for children. You've got the Women and Children's Life House now. And you were just talking about the young 18-year-old high school students that are coming in need of home shelter, right? Food and whatnot. Talk to me a little bit about the program that you have set up. The Children's Life House, it's a respite home foster care program, yes?
Right. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. So it is with respite, that emergency need, and then that foster care. So we have a young couple, basically, that doesn't want kids on their own, but they love kids. So this house is, we have really designed this house in that way. That is, it's a great house. I mean, we bought one of the women's homes for $50, redid it, rehabbed it. We bought another one for $20,000. This house was our most expensive. It was $65,000, and we took a really big step of faith in that. But this is just walking in that house just gives you just a calmness. I think we've opened it up in February, and so. Yeah, we've had that. I think we've had 6 individuals.
Wow.
I want to think they've all been boys except one, I think. But the partnership with DCS, because we have to do that, and so far it's been good for us. I think it's been good for them. We're really trying to make this house. When we had that partnership, they really thought we were just going to go in and want the 2 and 3 year olds, babies. No, this couple, we want to work with like 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds. And that's the group that's hardest to find housing for.
So you had a couple with a desire, and there's a need that is very prevalent in the state of Indiana.
Right.
And so it is a perfect match. Yeah. What is your vision? We still have about 3 minutes. What is your vision for the ministry, the Children's Life House ministry overall? I
think right now this has been a great year of working with the Children's Life House. It is one house, so they can only do so many. And one of the key things with this is really trying to keep Huntington kids in Huntington. Because when they got their licensing, everybody's calling from all over the place because this is a problem, Indiana, statewide. And you really don't want to know the numbers of what's happening out there.
Heartbreaking.
Right. So if we can get another house, I would not be opposed to doing that. Even talk to them something even bigger, but they're like, no, I'm not sure if you want to do that. So I think we scare them a little bit, but we just want to be there and help them and we want to be there and have a loving home, caring home for these kids to come into, regardless whether they come and stay for a week, 2 weeks, or end up being longer than that. But more houses could be a bigger home. We're just kind of
one
kind
day
of
at a
just
time?
surfing that wave right now. It is our newest ministry, and so it's not even a year old yet.
Wow.
So.
And you've already helped that many
Mm-hmm.
people. Wow.
Yeah.
So I think now that we've shared a little bit of an overview, there's so much to unpack here, and we just don't have enough time in today's community
Mm-hmm.
update. So I'll first extend an invitation to you to come back in the future.
Appreciate
Maybe
that.
we can share a little bit more with viewers about the work that you're able to do there within Huntington. Do you see folks from the Grant County community over in the Huntington area? Do you have any folks coming into?
Oh yes, we have. We've had some come into our women's program, transitional home, even into our men's as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually have some that come in and volunteer at the meal ministry and do lunch or do dinner. And so I think Huntington County and Marion County have been collaborating together through these ministries. I think it's been a great thing.
So Huntington and Grant County collaborate, and Marion is a big source
huge,
of, So, okay, let's talk real quick. Needs. Paper products, where anything from toilet paper to paper towels to feminine hygiene products to food.
Food is the biggest. Yeah.
Food's the biggest. Laundry detergents, things like that.
Right.
Staples that it costs something
Right.
to be able to help people.
And then
right?
and then our educational books that we use, we have to buy those because when they graduate, if they want to take them, we allow them to take them. But if they don't, we try to get them back, but we don't always get them back. And so when someone comes in and says, "Hey, I'm going to be in the program," they're excited. It's anywhere from $80 to $120 worth of books. It seems like a lot, but books are just expensive.
But they're expensive, but they're being used to transform lives.
Yeah, we can spend $2,500 to $3,000 a year possibly
on
educational supplies.
On educational supplies. Wow. Is that just with the Women's Life House?
I think
or
it's
is
the
that
men's
women
together.
men together? Okay, that's good to know. It's helpful for us to have that idea, how to wrap our head around that. One of the things that stood out to me, Jimmy, when I was touring New Life Ministries was there was such a sense of peace as I had a chance to go through all of the properties. And all of the properties that you purchased, like I said, they're on the city block in downtown Huntington, Indiana. They have all been lovingly restored and renovated and beautifully landscaped. The Women's Life House, they had a beautiful hydrangea bush on the corner, and it was just such a serene, lovely, peaceful place. And everything you could tell has been lovingly kept, and there's been a lot of thought that's gone into trying to create a welcoming environment that I think also instills a sense of value to the people who those doors are opening to welcome in.
Yeah.
And that each person there is a treasure. And it doesn't matter where you find yourself in your path in life, but that you are a treasure.
Yeah, and I just look at it as a God thing, and God does very well for us, and we need to do well for one another and give dignity and just be welcoming in a loving way and do it as unto the Lord. And people need to be safe, and we try to make them as beautiful as we can.
And it shows. It shows with the courtyard and everything for the Women's Life House.
Right.
That is such a beautiful patio area, and it shows. Well, Jimmy, we need to wrap up for today's update, but for folks that want to get in touch with you, can you share that phone number one more time?
Yes, it is 260-200-1372. So 260-200-1372.
All right. Well, folks, that's Pastor Jimmy Staton from New Life Fellowship Church in Huntington, Indiana, and we've been learning a little bit about the New Life Ministries outreach efforts of New Life Fellowship Church. And you can see their website there on your screen right now. And if you'd like to find out more information or how you can get involved, all that information is made readily available on their website. Well, that's all the time that we have today. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, we would really appreciate if you take just a moment to like or subscribe our channel, this episode, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on Sunnycrest Outreach Television. God bless.